Good morning. I haven't forgotten about you all, and I haven't stopped making content. I just don't have any content ready. So I did a really tough hike a couple weeks ago with some people, and I recorded the whole thing in 360 for like 6.5, 7 hours. Well, that's a lot of content to edit, especially with 360. So it's taking a while. So I work on it a little bit each day when I have some free time, but it's definitely taking some time. And what I'm hoping is after all this editing effort that I'm able to put together something that's mildly interesting. So I'm heading out to the Sierras, the eastern part of the Sierras, and I'm going to try to find some sort of fall colors. Now, there are fall colors in the eastern Sierras here in California, but to be honest, they're not quite as epic as the fall colors I see out east. Not that anything I've witnessed out here has been as epic. We have a lot of aspens, so it's a lot of yellow, some orange. Occasionally you might find some red. But it's nothing like what I used to see in Michigan growing up. What I've seen in the Northeast, the colors of Grand Tetons. Oh my God, you want some great fall colors? Grand Teton National Park in the fall is amazing. It's been about 2 hours and 45 minutes on the road, and I am making my way up the Sonora Pass into the mountains. I don't expect to see any colors yet. Maybe when we cross the summit, there might be something up there. But I think most of the colors are occurring on the east side of the mountain range. And we're coming up the west side. Stopping off here at Donald's Vista Point. I like to stop here while on this route. It's nice to get out, stretch your legs, use the bathroom. I'm going to get a bite to eat. There's a nice little view right over here of the reservoir. It's a really easy walk, and I think I'll take you over there and just show it to you really quickly. Here we are at the lookout. That's the reservoir down there. You might not be able to see it, but way down there is the dam. There's two paths down to the overlook. The short one is not supposedly handicap friendly. The longer one that I'm on right now is supposed to be more handicap friendly. It is paved and fairly wide. So I think there's enough room for even a wheelchair. Now, as far as photographic opportunities go, I mean, it's a nice looking view, but I've been out here quite a few times at different times of the day, and I've never really seen anything that popped. Anything that jumped out to me and said, this needs to be documented. So it's a good looking view, but kind of lacking for photography if you ask me. I guess you could go off trail down among these rocks and search for something. I think down that point down there you might get a better view of the canyon. And maybe certain times of the year, if the sun is just right, it might be pretty interesting. But to be honest, I've never really had a captivating exposure come out of this area. And some people just feel the need to be unnecessarily loud when they come out to places like this. Just because you can be an asshole doesn't mean you should be an asshole. Now, despite my opinion, and that's all it is an opinion about this place being photogenic, if you've ever taken a nice photo out here, or something that you feel is a nice photograph, I'd like to see it. Prove me wrong, please. I am not the final authority on photography. Now, granted, there are people here on YouTube that think they are. But truth be told, none of us are. So if you've come out here and you've captured something you think can prove me wrong, by all means, please share it. I'd actually really like to see it, because you're up in the bar for me to come back out here and capture something compelling. Still a lot of pine trees, but I'm starting to see other trees and I'm starting to see colors. So I think today might pan out. I'm definitely seeing a lot more color now, but it's down in the valley, like way off the road, and I'm having a hard time finding an area that I can pull off to that doesn't have a lot of distractions in the foreground, mainly other trees. Also, I'm at a huge disadvantage that it's noon, so the lighting is terrible. I'm getting a lot more aspens right off the side of the road. However, it's not quite enough to justify pulling out the camera. You know, maybe the cell phone for a snapshot, but not the camera. I know the lighting is terrible right now, but I'm not going to be able to make it back here. And I do want to take a moment to stop and try to photograph this landscape. And when I was driving by, I did see a little pull off, very easy to park. Only takes me a minute to walk over. So it's just a few minutes of my time. Why not stop and try to document it? I'm not liking the perspective from the road, so I'm actually going to climb up a little ways and see if I can get a better view. I'm not digging those road markers in my way. The poles, in case you don't know, are there for the snow plows during the winter, so they know where the sides of the roads are at. But they're getting in my shot. It doesn't look too good. Try this over here. Let's try from one more angle. I think I can do better. Don't have my rock climbing shoes. Damn it. Don't have good grip on this. I only got one hand with the camera. I don't have my rock climbing gear. I could probably climb this just fine if I had both hands, but I have to carry the damn camera. Ah, shit, that could have hurt. Actually, it did kind of hurt. I'm okay. That might be nature telling me I went too far. All right, a few scrapes in the hand, but I'm okay. I've done worse than this. The important part is the camera's okay. I'm an accident-prone idiot, but I'm an idiot that always carries first aid kits with them. So, just disinfect the area, hop in the car, and keep going. The weekend is not over with. I'm now over 9,000 feet in elevation, and what it looks like is the colors have already come and now they're going. There's some yellow. It's mostly yellowish brown and a lot of brown. So I think anything over 9,000 has already had its time for the year. I think we're going to find the most colors between, I'm guessing, maybe 5,000 to 8,000 feet of elevation, depending on which county we're in. It's never an exact science. Usually the colder places have the colors turn first, and that slowly works its way down in elevation and further south. I made it to 395. I'm currently heading southbound towards Mono Lake, Lee Vining area. I think I'm going to head a little bit past that down to Convict Lake. Last time I tried going to Convict Lake, it was closed off because of the fires. I think I'm also going to hit the June Lake loop because I went through there a couple weeks ago and it was still kind of green. It was starting to turn yellow in a few places, so I think right now is a good time to check it out. One thing I like, even with the really bad lighting, is when you have this little patch of color in all these pine trees. I love scenes like this. About 15 miles from Mono Lake, and check it out. Look at all those colors. So I just jumped off the highway. I'm on a side road heading towards Virginia Lakes, and I'm already seeing a lot of color. And I think this is a good move. All right, when this road starts out, there's a lot of colors and it looks really promising. But as we got further down the road, the aspens down this way have already lost most of their leaves. I see a few little splotches of color here and there. Oh, there's a deer. My first wildlife spotting of the day. So anyways, yeah, there's a couple little splotches of colors, but I have a feeling we might have already seen all the colors we're going to see on this road. I'm not seeing anything else. I'm going to turn around and head back out. But what I did see, though, was a little side road, and according to the sign, that side road will take me in kind of a scenic route back to 395. But I'm not going to take that right now because it's heading north for 395, and I'm still trying to head south down to Convict and June Lakes. So I'm just going to take this main side road back out to 395, and depending on what the time is when I come back, maybe I will take that scenic route. We'll see. We're playing all this by ear. Decent amount of color down there. Looks like we can park and walk around, so I'm going to go do that. I need to stretch my legs. From a distance, when you see all the trees, they look like they're kind of packed in really tight, and the colors are more pronounced. When you get into the trees, you start getting that separation, so you're only seeing a small number of them at a time, then you notice a lot less colors. So it's always kind of tricky when you're doing fall colors. Like, you want to get up in the trees and experience it. And in some cases you can. I was in a patch of aspens at Grand Tetons, and that was definitely very immersive. I think partly because these leaves are starting to turn brown and fall off, it's not such an immersive experience. You don't feel like you're swimming in colors. Now this feels a bit more immersive. There's still some color in here. It hasn't all gone brown yet. So this is one of the uses I have for GoPro cameras on the Hot Shoe, not just for vlogging. So usually I'm using a long lens. That's just my preference for a lot of things. Portraits, obviously wildlife, even landscape. But every now and then I'm in a situation where the long lens is too long. I mean, it's way too long. and I don't want to switch lenses all the time. GoPro mounted on the hot shoe gives me that wide angle right there, and it's really useful, especially with the new Hero 9 and it's supposed to be a larger sensor. Must be a fire right here in the June Lake Valley. I honestly don't know. I mean, this is pretty smoky. I've barely entered the June Lake Loop and already I'm being drowned in colors. So this is pretty awesome. And the haze, even though I've pretty much burned out on wildfires, the haze is actually diffusing the light, which is helping out. So I'm getting a softer light on the trees, and it's actually working out. I'm really kind of stoked. I will have to Photoshop out a bunch of people. There's just so many people in that tree tunnel. We couldn't do anything about it. You just gotta take your exposures and clean it up later. That's how it goes sometimes. Earlier when I was talking about being immersed in color, this is what I was talking about right here.